No.
Very good. Next item then would be the approval of the minutes from the August 10th meeting. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as read. Is there any additions, deletions, corrections?
Second.
No, second.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anybody has to abstain? So. Old business. Obviously, first thing on the agenda is the Rockwell and Johnson School closeout. Vinny, what do you have for us, buddy?
How you doing? Well, it's my first real meeting, getting involved here. Are you looking for me to present the cash flow
Well,
invoices, or how do you want to?
we can start off if you want to do. I'm sure the budget update probably hasn't changed much since our last meeting, if any.
No, it hasn't. On Bethel, on Bethel, there's been some invoices, and on Johnson's, there's some invoices and Rockwell's some invoices.
Okay.
Right.
What about the Rizzo's PCO request?
Yes, that should have been signed. Oh, wait, the PCO? Which
Yes.
piece? I have not seen a new PCO from Rizzo.
Kathy, do you have anything on that? No? Okay, I think that's just a standard line item on the agenda.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay. With the is there any other updates for closeouts on Rockwell or Johnson?
The only items, go ahead.
Is it okay, John, if I asked a
Sure,
question?
absolutely, Doctor.
So first of all, the landscaping looks fabulous. So
Yeah,
I just want to
agree.
really, Roy, I think they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I was around there over the weekend, and I absolutely agree. He did a great job.
Wonderful job. I think the grass is growing in nicely, especially with the rain that we've had. It's graded well. It really made all the difference, I think, from the previous where we were, even a few months ago. I guess my question is, because Terry and I discussed this the other night, where are we with the closeout? I mean, Terry's kind of hanging on here so we can do the final filing. So when can we anticipate that we can actually start that process? I thought this was the last thing.
Yeah, the landscaping won't be completed 100% until probably mid-October. They have to do 2 mows on it. Once they mow it twice, then we can get the architect out and get the final blessing on the landscape. Once that there is done, if that's the final item on that we have to contend with, then we can close out the project.
Okay, I'm sorry. I missed it. Because of the dog, you said mid-October because we have to wait for 2 mowings.
Correct.
To close out the landscaping, and that's the only lingering piece.
Well, that's the last piece of the construction, but then we have the other 2 items that are outstanding that we're working through, and that is the level spreader and the report that we got recently about the controls at the schools.
About the ECS piece.
Correct, the ECS piece, correct.
Yes. And Bob, do you want to comment on that? Because we did meet internally to look at every piece of that, and we took Ken's feedback from that. Do you want to make a comment, Bob?
Well, Vinny and I talked a little bit today about it, and I have MCOR actually looking at 2 of these major items because I think we have to move on those pretty quickly, and that's the heat, excuse me, the heat wheel.
Yeah, we do have Ken on the line, so I'm not sure if we want to bring him in.
Is this issue, is the control, are they out of warranty now, or are they still under our warranty?
They're under warranty, right, Bob?
Well, that was one of the things that Vinny and I were talking about today, that this needs a little bit more digging in.
Correct. There's 2 parts of the warranty. The majority of the warranty is 1 year. That, according to what I'm seeing from the warranty letters, that time has passed. Then there are some components that have, I believe it's a 5-year warranty. And that's what we need to understand, what is covered underneath that 5-year warranty.
Is this a service item, or is this part of the original, I'm just trying to, this is the first I heard of it, and I don't even know where it is, but I'm just asking a general question.
Vinny, can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
This all started when I put a service request in, a warranty request in, because I was getting some irregularities with the controls at Rockwell. And my head custodian was having problems making adjustments, things of that nature. So I put a call into ESC to come down and kind of work these out, because they've never been quite right. They've always been just on, just not quite right. You have to actually be on the screen to see what I'm talking about. But so when they came down, they sent their service branch down, because as you know, this company has 2 or 3 different branches. When the service branch came down, he spent time at Johnson, he spent time at Rockwell, and he said that he found enough discrepancies where he had to put it into a report form, and that's what I gave Nancy and Vinny and Dr. Carver. So, and in that report, he outlines a number of deficiencies and a couple items that he stated were not completed. And there's like I was just saying to Dr. Carver, there's a couple items that kind of worry me a little bit, because I don't want to leave the AC season and going into the heating season having an issue that I know is going to pop back up again when we turn the AC on next year. So I want to put this to bed before too far, before the warranty goes down the road too far.
Right.
Roy, we did give Nancy the full report from ECS.
Okay.
So I know she's away, so maybe
Yeah,
that's why that she didn't distribute it. But the big item was the heat wheel, right, Bob?
That's correct. That's correct.
Right. So so it sounds like we have to, and you're talking to Vinny, that we have to explore the warranties to see whether or not they're covered under that, or there's some other ways that we have to remedy it, correct?
That's correct, but I'm also rushing the weather too. I don't want to go into the heating season with this problem. I think we're going to have issues with it based on my experience with the other schools.
So what's going to be the next step? Are they going to come back and address these with the warranty, or is that still up in the air?
To be honest with you, John, I don't know. We went this far to have them at least document it, and that's why I submitted it. But as I was just mentioning, there's going to be a couple items that I can't wait on, and so and Dr. Carver and I in the group talked the other day, and I may have to move to get them done through our mechanical contractor. I prefer not to do that, obviously, because it's going to cost. And I don't know what some of these cost items are going to be. I was talking with Jen Varielli today, and I'm going to try my best I can to get some type of idea of what we're talking about price wise.
Right. But once we get the estimates from MCOR, we'll definitely touch base with Vinny and look at the warranty information and touch base with Ken. I would assume Ken, we would touch base with you.
Yeah, so I know Ken has reached out to the subcontractors.
Right.
So he's taken those surveys and he has sent them out to the subcontractors. He has yet to receive a response back. We don't know if the contractors are going to respond or so forth. It really depends if it's within the warranty. If any of these items fall under the warranty, then they should respond. If they don't fall under the warranty, then we have to figure out what we want to do with it and how we want to handle it.
Bob, is that through New England Mechanical you're dealing with?
Yes, John, I'm bringing in New England Mechanical just to verify,
Okay.
my current condition, because up to this point, the only thing New England's been doing for us is just changing the filters and greasing, just
Maintenance.
because
Normal
it's a
PM,
general preventive maintenance, because I didn't want them to touch anything mechanical, because I'm not trying to, avoid any warranties. I'm being very careful about that.
Could you?
Do we have a
could you send me
control
a copy of that report?
ESC is our control contractor for Rockwell Johnson.
Right.
Okay, and I know you mentioned you would need to get the energy wheel up and running. Is that something that they can assist with under their contracts?
Well, I don't know. Up to this point here, they just identified it. It's kind of odd that they pointed fingers at themselves. Because they were the contractor of record there.
Right, so I'm just wondering if they're the town's control contractor and you have a contract with them to manage the controls for the buildings.
No, I don't have no contract with them. I will
Okay.
use them during the warranty period.
Right.
And that's what,
Right.
and that's what initiated this survey. It was their
Okay.
service department, after, when they came down to my request for a warranty checkup, they found all this, and that's what
And
developed this.
I got it.
Can you please send me the reports, Bob? I'd really like to look through those.
Yeah, I can.
First thing in the morning.
Thank you.
So with this issue here, we're gonna have, Bob's gonna work on this internally, and also keep Vinny and I would imagine probably Jim or Ken in the loop of what's going on, and then at the next meeting, we can maybe just get a report on what was the outcome. I'm sure you'll have something resolved, hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
Right. I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest issue, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, was the heat wheel and one or
The
two
heat
of
wheel.
the units.
Yeah, the heat wheel and the dampers and things of that nature that will prevent me from having normal operations there.
But there's only one unit that with a damaged heat wheel, right?
That's correct.
Right. And I think
Now,
that
is the
was,
heat wheel, you
What's
said
that?
damaged. You said damaged. Is the heat wheel damaged or is it just not
we're
running?
not sure. I think that's why we need to bring
Okay.
the mechanical contractor out. I think that was just ECS's, right, Bob?
Well, they indicated that there was a part missing.
That's right.
And that there would be no way that we would have anybody taking those parts. No one on our end took any of this apart. Like I said, I only did preventive maintenance, the filter change and the belts.
Right.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but were all these units commissioned?
Yes.
According to this report, they
Yes.
say that Ken's response back is that it's been commissioned.
And Ken's
Well-
right. They were.
So, but
I do have
my question is, if there's a part missing, how could they have been commissioned properly? That's the question. It's kind of like,
This is
you got a
kind
new
of what
car
I
and there's no
want.
driver's seat.
This is kind of why I want New England Mechanical to do a diagnostic on this
Mhm.
and give me what they see. I shared this with the engineer, but I didn't share with the engineer all the verbiage. I just shared what was found in the survey. The engineer does not see what Ken wrote back.
Okay.
I do have, yeah. I do have an email out to the controls, to the commissioning agent. So I want to speak to them and see where they stand. And again, you're correct. If there's items missing, how do they get commissioned? And if there is something that's not correct, he's going to have to answer to that. And
Right.
then I'll work with them on that.
Right, and then they also, and one of our problems that brought them out here was the humidity sensors. And in their report, they indicate that on DOAS number 3, the CO and humidity sensors were located in the wrong position, in the wrong area. So they would never see the true issue of that area it's serving. So, I mean, that is a design thing. So, you know, I'm not an engineer, but a lot of this is just, common sense stuff.
Yeah. I would absolutely like to be there if possible when New England Mechanical comes out and looks at it. If that's feasible.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll ask from the commissioning agent, as I'll ask for his report that can be reviewed also.
Hey, Vinny?
I'm not sure, I'm not sure if you have his report, the commissioning report.
Hey, Vinny, can you expand a little bit of what you told me today about the 2 commissionings?
The commissioning is the reports are in the shared drive. And I
Right.
just shared with you ECS's report with Ken's comments.
Yeah, Bob, going back to your, I was misinformed. Not, I wouldn't say misinformed. I misinterpreted what was being said to me.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I was getting, ECS and another acronym mixed up and who was who. So I actually cleared that up today with Ken.
Okay, thank you.
If I
Yeah,
got off the phone with you, I ended up speaking with Ken and I cleared that up. Because I
Okay.
thought ECS was doing the project, and I also thought I had information that ECS was the commissioning agent. And I'm going, if that was the case, then what happened here? But then I found, again, I think I just, because getting new and getting understanding who's doing what, I ended up clearing it up with Ken. So they are two different companies.
Thank you, Ben.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna have, by the next meeting, we should have some follow-up report on what's going on with this.
And let me know if you didn't, Bob, I just sent it to the committee. So if you didn't get it, please just let me know.
We should
So-
see what's in
so
there
Vinny-
related to these items. Yes.
Just to double back, you said there were 3 things you thought were outstanding, and one you said quickly and I didn't catch it. So one is because we have to have all the bills paid in order to file with the state. So one is
Correct.
landscaping.
Correct.
What was the second?
The second was this survey for the HVAC.
Yes.
The
ECS survey,
ESC, the ESC thing with the
Right.
controls.
Well, I don't believe that is
No.
a billing item. That should be
Okay.
billed in full because it was 100% commission.
Okay, and
Okay,
what was the
so-
third item?
The third item is the level spreader that we're still working on.
What is a level
What
spread?
is
We're
that?
gonna talk about that
That's-
next.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about that
Um,
next.
Could, Hey, John?
And there's-
could I just step back quick, as long as we're talking about the landscaping? Maybe this is for Ken or for Jim. As far as priority, are they still thinking they're gonna get paid? And then
Yeah.
also on Sunburst, what are we looking at? I think we're just
Yeah,
trying
So,
to get a general feel here.
and that kind of plays into what Terry's asking. So
Yeah.
you'll have the landscape closed out mid-October. That's when the second mowing should be. But this
Right.
issue with priority is going to linger because you're going to have the legal issue related
Yeah.
to them.
I assume that.
What I would expect is a September requisition for Sunburst, which is going to mean we'll have to bill the priority balances, send priority, the documentation of the back charge, send that payment over to Sunburst. But with the second cutting probably finishing up in October, there'll be another payment to Sunburst. So that same process again. I would imagine that first back charge that we send to priority is going to trigger legal activity. So that would be the expectation, Terry. And that would, at this point, I don't know what priority's reaction will be.
The
Yeah.
thing is, that's not going to be eligible because the state is going to consider that rework. So that wouldn't stop us from closing out with the state, but it would stop you from having a final balance as far as the town goes with what's left in the project if you have a legal issue. But they won't pay for work twice. So once the work is completed and paid, we can move forward with the state. We would just need to know with the controls where we stand in terms of eligible, ineligible there.
Right.
And then this other item, the level spread, is that what you're talking about with priority, or is that something
No,
else?
that's something extra. That's something.
Okay.
There is a fourth item, I guess. Rizzo provided a change order or quote today to add a gate or to relocate a gate. I know Nancy's
Okay.
involved in that. And there was a few other individuals.
Yeah, that would be part of the level spreader discussion. 'Cause
Okay.
That's all tied in with that.
Okay.
So actually, we can probably move on to that item now. As you may be aware, the trail behind Johnson, behind retention pond, it has flooded out
Mm,
and it has washed out the trail. The level spreader, they looked at it and Nancy sent some pictures out. I believe they're on the shared drive also. And I know she took a look down there. Did Roy, did you get a chance to get down there?
I did. I had some comments too. so.
Okay. And I know there's also another drain, plastic drain pipe that also exits out. It's the same location as the level spreader. And again, you know.
Hey, I had some general questions, maybe, I'm not even too sure who, but, everyone writes that they look like it's generally in general conformance with the documents, but yet I still get the, kind of a catch-all that the grade on the north end where it comes out, it seems like the elevations were not correct. So I get these contradictions in terms, and I also have some concerns because the as-built should have showed this. I mean, it should be very easy to pick up between the design and the as-built. So whether SLR's letter even talks about the portion of the northern section, after we talk about is generally in conformance, but then the first issue's portion of north end of the level spreader are observed to be lower in elevation than the top of the curve. That's part of the project itself. So I understand that there might have been field changes or field conditions that were not accurately documented in the beginning, but to me, not having the level spreader completed on the northern end is contributing, to some of the problem. And it's not to say that it's going to go away with that fix, because it looks like the grades were incorrect to start with. But to my way of reading this, it was not done correctly. So and I don't know, Jim. I don't know if you've had a chance to review it some. I apologize. I wasn't able to go to that meeting with earth movers and what have you. But the area that I observed on that north end, clearly it was running out there. It was clearly lower than the section where it came in. A level spreader is a level spreader, supposed to be. So I have a hard time with that.
So I've been talking with Mark Dupree, my VP at STV, and he's been corresponding with Nancy. And one of the things that he talked to her about is having our engineers, our civil engineers, do an independent review of the drawings and the topographical landscape and so forth, and get a third party view of what's going on. Review the drawings, review the conditions, and give us a good report on that. I think she reached out to John. Is it John Monty? Is it Menti?
Menti, yes.
That's yourself. She said she forwarded the information to you, and she said perhaps we could discuss it at tonight's meeting. So we're not sure if the town wants to go down and have this independent third-party review. That's outside of the existing engineers, outside of the contractor, outside of everybody. These would be professional engineers that would actually do this, that would develop the report.
So Tom from
Yeah.
SLR, you have anything on this that you want to comment on?
I'm filling in for Darren a little bit, so I also wasn't able to attend the Earth Movers, but myself and Dave Dixon are involved. So I don't know if you want to start. I know somebody asked a question, what is a level spreader? I'm more than happy to start in the beginning, if that's helpful. I think.
Tom, hey Tom, it's Roy. On that, I don't disagree with the report. But the one thing that generally in conformance, but by the same token, the north end is not generally in conformance. So I don't, it's not going to be right. I clearly recognize it's not going to be right because the field conditions, someone blew something somewhere along the line and it wasn't picked up. But by the same token, it's not correct. So I don't know where that leaves us,
Yeah, ultimately, I think it's the commission's call as to whether they want to get a peer review. I mean, I think our memo is clear, and I think the talks a little bit, but just to start from the, so level spreader is basically the point discharge for a pipe. Traditionally, in many, well, as engineers, we look at that every time. Many times the traditional pipe discharges that everybody on this call probably knows is just shoot straight out and maybe has some stone at it, but it just goes straight out. A level spreader is where the water comes, turns 90 degrees, and it's supposed to spill over more like a bathtub. If you think about if you fill your bathtub and it goes all the way to the top, it instead of just coming out at one location, it comes out along that entire area and it becomes a level spreader, right? It discharges that water over, say, maybe 30 feet instead of only a 2-foot discharge. So that was the intended design. What we found in the field after the fact investigation is that the topography downgradient of the level spreader is higher in some locations than what the mapping showed. And in this particular area, the mapping was aerial mapping. And I suspect that maybe anytime you get aerial mapping where a heavy tree cover occurs, sometimes that micro topography is not picked up. And what I think if you go out there is, it does definitely ultimately grade away from it, but there's some micro topography in front of the level spreader that is pushing the water to the north. So I think, essentially it potentially is coming out of the level spreader correctly, but then it hits a wall of some natural topography and turns and all goes to, so it's some micro topography that was occurring downgrade in the level spreader that's forcing it to that one end, Roy, is what we're seeing. And then when it goes out that one end, it then goes down the hill, jumps onto the trail. As you know, most trails are the trails start to become swales because people walk on them, and the water goes down the trail. And I think the recommendation we came up with was Mother Nature is telling us which way the water wants to go. So let's enhance that and make it a permanent situation, to the point where we take the trail, turn it into a swale, let the water just continue to go as it is, but we'll protect it so it doesn't erode anymore, and then build a trail right next to it. So basically you're walking on down a trail, and anybody, if you hike in the woods, a lot of times you'll see many times there's a trail, and then right next to it is a little kind of stone swale that sends that water down. So that's what our observations showed, Roy.
I agree with most of it. I just don't agree with the north end, that I don't think was, right from your report, it was lower than the elevation. So, and I'm
Roy,
okay. I think
yeah,
the end result, I agree with you, Tom.
And I can't speak to that. You seem to, you actually walked out there. I apologize. Darren had a conflict this evening. He had another public hearing. He had to continuance. So I was more than happy to get on this call, but I apologize that I have not been in the field to look at it.
I mean, I think we just want to look for a resolution, the most cost-effective resolution.
Correct.
So, and I personally don't want to spend all kinds of design dollars to go back through this to redesign the whole system. If this can be simply done with some rip wrapping, etc. So I don't know. I don't know where we are on that.
We agree, and then the other alternate would result in a lot of clearing of vegetation, where we basically would take the grade down. And I think, my understanding is Nancy, I think but I don't think cutting down trees is plus the fact that Mother Nature's already pushing the water, and then why would we want to fight it, right?
Yeah,
it's already on us. But cutting down trees, I don't think doesn't seem. I think the town came to the conclusion, and we agree. I mean, it just didn't seem like it was the appropriate. But we think with this modification, the level spreader, the discharge, can maybe there's some slight modifications, Roy, in the field that we would make the level spreader, but we don't see a wholesale ripping out of the level spreader to solve this.
Correct. So
wasn't there a second discharge pipe that went beyond the level spreader that also dumped water there? Is that, or am I mistaken on that?
I don't think so, unless it was pre-existing from maybe it's historic. But I don't,
I thought it was something that came out of the middle school area. I could be wrong on that. Because I mean, if that's the case, could that be dumping an excessive amount of water into one location from the level spreader itself from the, the Johnson School and then, but I thought there was a second pipe there.
They combined them, John. They combined the runoff from the
Okay.
middle school in with that.
Right.
That's what you'll see, two pipes in there.
Okay, I got you.
So Tom, was that something that your office was gonna do, was gonna be to do a design of that, and then we're gonna price it, or where is that?
I think that's absolutely the logical approach to do. We would be prepared to sketch up, and I think it's somewhat of a free form design. We would think that Dave Dixon, as a landscape architect, would go out there and find a good path for the new trail. It's almost, it kind of falls in trail maintenance kind of bucket, but yes, I would suspect that the contractor wouldn't even know how to bid anything without us developing some type of
Exactly, yeah,
plan with some details. I end up
Yep.
finding some fairly standardized federal, forestry trail details that we think is essentially will apply here. So
Okay.
I think we're at a position where we've given the memo. I think we know a path forward, but obviously this is a group that needs to give us some guidance on how to proceed. And I think Vinny has offered another alternate for consideration. I don't think there's an alternate approach to the design unless we want to clear cut all those trees, which I don't think
No,
is.
I don't.
Could you come back to us by the next meeting with a design for approval?
Is your next meeting tomorrow?
No.
No, I'm sorry.
We got two more
When's your
weeks.
next?
2
How
weeks.
many?
2
2
weeks.
So my question is, with the change from the original design, because this is no longer following the initial intent of the water, is there any type of regulatory wetlands, anything we have to contend with if we start redirecting this water flow, other than what's been approved by the initial design?
Vinny, I think we have to see what the design is. I think essentially the water's still going down the same way that it's always gone. So
Okay,
I think
all
it's a
right.
question of taking care of the erosion that's going on now. And if we have to go back to the appropriate town boards, then we'll have to do that.
I think the goal here
of all this too.
the goal here is not to damage the trail any longer, just
Exactly.
redirect the water we
Right.
can and leave the trail as much as we can intact without any more damage.
Yeah, I think the approach is we're going to turn the trail into the swale and put the swale on put the trail on the high side up high above
Yeah.
it. So I think, so I think, yes, we can get you a revised, it might not be final design, Roy,
Yeah.
but it would be enough that the contractor can bid it, even if it's more of a narrative approach.
Yep.
With select details, where to take it to. It might be using some of the photos that Darren has taken in the field to kind of direct them. We'd also be in a position that we potentially also could meet the contractor in the field and walk them through it, because it's one of
That's-
those designs that it's like
Yep.
landscape, it's like David probably get landscape architecture and trail. Sometimes it doesn't perfectly go on a plan. You have to, oh, don't go there. There's a beautiful tree there. Let's go over here. So,
I agree. I agree.
so
Tom.
I think we could do two things. We could be willing to meet the contractor on the field in the next 2 weeks and
Yep.
walk them through the design, and then have some select details. I think that might be better than spending a ton of time trying to get micro design.
And
What contractors would you recommend?
hey, John, my preference would be to see if we could get Sunburst involved. I think it's a job they could easily handle.
Yeah, it's fine with me. It's,
Is that the landscape contractor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's-
I have found that this type of work is probably, I agree. I think a landscape contractor with some small
yeah,
equipment,
that's what
mini
they have.
excavator, and we want to be sensitive to the landscape.
Yes.
What we're not looking to get is a massive Caterpillar,
That's why
excavator
I'm-
running down there. So
That's why I'm
Roy,
suggesting-
I totally agree. This is much better suited in a landscape
Yep.
contractor bucket than it would be a big and don't get me wrong, earth movers, is more than capable to do the work
Yeah,
also.
Yeah,
but
that's not, I don't think that's the proper company. I think Sunburst would be perfect for this.
They've done outstanding work for us so
Right.
far.
So,
Question, please.
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Do we have to put the gate in before they get down there, or does Sunburst have a way to get down there?
To look at it, I mean, to look at it right now, you can get to it.
All right.
To do any work, we're gonna have to put a gate in. So that, again, we can't act on that until we get a price.
Yeah, and a general design, so.
Yeah.
I think,
I like your approach. I think we would do is prior to your next meeting, we would schedule a field visit with Sunburst, walk with their lead person, and it's one of those ones, I guarantee a landscape contractor will basically just bid it right on the, because once we
agree.
present it, I think they really will understand what's involved.
Roy, do
Absolutely.
you think possibly you could accompany that visit?
I
I mean,
can't.
if you're.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
no.
I'm not around next week, the following week, yes, but I'll, be gladly be with you.
All right, so who's gonna kind of, Tom, are you gonna kind of spearhead this up?
I'd be more than happy to. I just don't have a contact at Sunburst, so.
I'll
and we're-
send you, hey, Tom, I'll send you the contact. And,
Okay, perfect.
it's okay.
And yeah,
and
can you
Roy-
also keep Vinny in the loop on this too, please?
Okay. So
Yes.
Roy, I have your email anyways, but include Vinny, loop me in. I will start to facilitate and the weather. Hopefully, I think it's a good time to do this. So,
do
and then we'll loop it, and then David Dixon, our landscape architect, because I think it's that sensitivity we're going to be looking for in this design. Not this, we're not looking to build a road down here.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I want to minimize everything.
And, there might be other materials, like instead of riprap, there's some geofabrics out there that we might be able to get it so it looks more natural. So,
That's good.
and more inexpensive and smaller equipment to get it down there. So, speaking on Darren's behalf, and if Darren happens to not be around, I'll be more than happy to do that. But yeah, Roy, send me, we'll get it going. And hopefully we get back to you, and we'll jump on this quickly. Roy, even if you're not around, should we proceed or should we wait around?
That'd be fine. No, definitely.
Because I know 2 weeks is not that far away for you.
No, Pete is very qualified. He can meet you. Just please meet with him.
Okay.
Tom, can you also keep me in the loop on that too?
Yep.
Because I'm off of work now for a couple of weeks.
So Roy, can you include anybody in the email to me that you think needs to be looped into this? And we're happy to, and that's great if we can get, I mean, I think I would like to have a town, somebody with the town with us, because it's just better. It's better. It will end up with a better product there.
Hey, Roy, not to
Yes.
complicate things, but you think Beth Cavagna should at some point be involved?
That would be fine. I'll copy her in it too.
Yeah, I know Beth very well, and I think she would be a great asset to the.
Yeah, absolutely great. Okay.
She's very practical and.
The time frame on this, are we looking to try to get this completed before winter? It might
Yeah,
get,
Yes.
because if we don't, then we're gonna be dealing with all the water from the spring thaw. and so
This has
forth.
to be an early fall project.
Okay, all right. Just so we're all on the same time frame here.
All right. I know that there was a question about a gate, and I think I want to table that until the next meeting. But somebody got was a revised price on that gate, if we use the current one and move it?
Right, we have two prices on the gate right now, and a new gate or the relocated gate. The price difference between the two is very minimal, because what happens is you have the labor that increases when you're relocating the gate. So you got to take the gate down, bring it over, take the fence apart, take the fence, bring it back over where the gate is going, and then install the gate. So you're saving a little bit on material, but your labor is up there. So the new gate is more. It's only about, I think, about $800 more than it is to relocate it. So it's a very minimal savings to relocate the gate.
Okay, I think we're going to table that vote because we need to get, I'd like to see it maybe wrapped up into one package as far as getting the work done and do the gate.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Yeah, I just got those today. I didn't present those. I wasn't presenting those at today's
All
meeting.
right. All right. Jim or Ken, do you have any updates for us on your end? Anything positive?
Just that, what you already talked about, Sunburst finished today at both schools. So
Mhm.
now we're just waiting for the grass to get ready to cut it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I took the ride up through this the other day. It looks really nice.
It
Definitely coming.
really looks good. Yeah. They did a nice job.
I know we're going to lose Dino at 8 o'clock. So what I want to do is move over to voting on any invoices that we have to pay while we have a quorum, so we can get that taken care of.
You want to start with schools?
Yes, let's do the schools real quick, and because I want to get
Okay.
while we have a quorum, so we can get these votes taken care of. You have
I can't share because the host is disabled sharing.
Okay.
So if the host can enable it, that'd be great.
Kathy, can you do that for him? Yeah.
Great, I have it.
Okay, great.
So, all right. So everybody can see my beautiful screen. I'm assuming. All right, the first invoice that we can go over is, let's bring up, hang on, not that one. Come on now. Oh, man. All right. All right, invoices here. Let's bring up the Rockwell's invoice from for Rizzo. Everybody see this?
Can you enlarge it a little bit? There.
There we go. So what this invoice here covers, this invoice covers the payment for the easy to show you, the payment for the module classrooms, but that payment is actually credited back in change order number 11 down here, right here. So the first part of the payment is the payment of change order number 11. Okay, that includes the credit for the modular classrooms. Change order 11 was approved previously by the board. Okay, so that number is right here. It's 63,000, but the payment is 46 total. The other item that Rizzo is requesting is the retainage for earth movers, which when you add the retainage for the 46, it brings it up to the 111,091. So it pays for change order 11, and it pays for the retainage for earth movers.
All right. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the payment of 111,091.89. What invoice number is this? I don't see it up there.
Application number?
00036. Yeah, application number 000036. Is there a second for Rizzo Corporation?
I'll second it.
Second, is there discussion on this? Discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All
All
right.
right, what's the next one?
The next one is Perkins Eastman. This is the invoice for the, where's the school here? Why can't I find the school name? Rockwell.
Okay,
They're looking for $744 for this invoice.
okay. Just one thing before we do, moving forward, all the invoices, instead of being addressed to Matt Knickerbocker, is gonna have to be changed to Richard Straighten.
Okay,
Yeah. Matt has left the town, and Rich Straighten is now the first selectman. So that's just something that have to be noted on any more correspondence. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the invoice number was it 68961.
Load up. There you go.
There you go. 68961.06.0-17 for the amount of $744.
Second.
Second made by Dave Olson. Is there any discussion on this invoice?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
I,
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All right. Second invoice is Perkins Eastman 2. I'll blow this one up.
Okay.
They are looking for 89. Let me get this thing out of my way. 89.50 to cover basically their labor and their consultant cost. This pays the contract down to 114,331.
All right. I'd like to make a motion, if you can drop it down again, there you go, to Perkins Eastman for invoice number 68962.07.0-17 for the amount of $8,989.50.
second,
A second. Is there discussion on this? Dave Harvick seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All right. Takes care of that one. The next invoice that I have is for Red Thread. What this invoice here does is it pays for the chairs that were received. It also gives back the credit that was agreed upon for $2,000. So the invoice got reduced down to $18,606.
So yeah, this was discussed a couple of meetings ago that I believe Dr. Carver agreed that they're going to keep the chairs and put them into one area and move the other ones around. So this was already talked about and agreed upon with the school system, and we were waiting for this new invoice. So again, I'd like to make a motion that we pay to Red Thread. What's the invoice number here? Oh, here it is. 22669 in the amount of $18,606.00. And that should close out all of our furnishings for the project completely.
That's what I understand for it.
Yes.
Second.
Is there a second? Who made the second?
I did.
Dave Olson made a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All right, that's that one. 1, 2, 3. The next invoice are SPV invoices. This one right here is for Johnson School. This is Geraldine put most of her time on this one. And it's for $455.
And what was this for?
This is SPV's OPM services.
Okay, all right. Okay, so again, I can make a motion. We pay invoice number 900254449. STV, the amount of $455.
Second.
There's a second by Dave. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
The last invoice we have is for STV also for the OPM services. This is for Rockwell School. And this is for $637.
Okay.
And this invoice here covers services from Geraldine. Right here.
Well, we should send her a thank you note. Just kidding. I'd like to make a motion that we pay invoice number, no, I'm not kidding, 90025-450 to STV for the amount of $637.
Second.
Second by Dave Olson. Is there discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Okay, that takes care of all the schools. I do have one item for the firing range. Do we want to
Yeah,
go for
yeah,
that?
let's get that. I know it's going off topic, but I want to get that before we leave Dino. This way we can discuss other things without taking the vote.
Firing range invoice. Oh, I had one for here. Yes, again, this one here is for STV, for OPM services. This is for $5,000. Okay, and this covers services for both Geraldine and myself.
All right. That's two thank you notes.
Hey, I'm still here. Oh, and
that's
Mark
right, that's
Dupree.
right.
Oh, and Mark Dupree. He has some work he did on this too.
All right. All right. I'd like to make a motion that we approve invoice number for the Police Department Firing Range Project. Invoice number 90025-455 for the amount of $5,154.50. Is there a second? Dave Harvick made a second. Discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Beautiful.
And that is all I have for invoices this month.
All right. All righty. Is there any more on the school project that we need to discuss at this point, right, for tonight? We all good with that? Ken, Jim, you all guys are good for the school project as of right now?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be some follow-up work to talk about that level spreader, and we can discuss that. I'll get a report by our next meeting, and we can move on from there.
That's good.
All right, thank you, folks from the school. We do appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Johnny. See
All
you
right.
guys.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Good night.
Quickly, do we have a police station update? Anything more on, we paid the bill, obviously.
Speaking about the firing range,
Yes,
update on the firing range, action target. We seem to have come into agreement with them for a contract. And Marty has approved all of the language in it. And we're waiting on the town to sign it.
okay,
And once they sign it, then we'll be in the contract with Action Target. I believe the next contract that we have to work on is Downs Construction. I
okay,
have not seen that finalized, and I'll work with Marty starting on the Action Targets behind us. That one was a critical one because it deals with the HVAC system.
Right.
We wanted to get them under contract to get that ordered.
yeah, I'll stop at the town hall tomorrow and follow up with get straightened on that and so forth.
As soon as I see that go out, I'll be all over Rex at Action Target about getting that unit ordered, getting a
Okay.
timeline on it, and getting our schedule.
All right, thank
And
you.
then next week I'll start working with Marty to see what we need to do to finalize Downs Construction,
All right,
their contract. So that's where we're at with the firing range.
Okay, everyone, I'm signing off.
thank you, Dino, for hanging in there.
We'll see you.
Take care, everybody.
All right, I guess that's it for the police station then at this point. Kathy, do we have anything on the municipal center that you know of? Any updates or we have no
Thank
invoices?
you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
I don't have anything. I don't know anything.
Yeah, the only thing that Nancy did indicate to me, let me see, where was it? I made a couple.
It was
of-
more about the testing. There's going to be some more testing done.
Yes,
Yeah, I saw
they're
that.
getting a hold of the company that did the initial testing for the asbestos. They want to do some testing for possible lead paint in the area, in the basement area where they have to take the stairwell out. And Hygienics is going to be doing that. They've done most of the testing there. So they will be doing that some further testing on that. And I believe that's going to be done in a very short order.
Good.
The contract has been, I believe, signed with the contractor for that project. So we're just waiting for a couple of small items and we're ready to get moving on that probably within the next 30 days.
Terrific.
All right.
Terrific.
Anybody have anything else? I know we can't vote on anything anymore because we don't have a quorum, but.
It's all good.
All right. Well, it's 7:59. I want to make a motion to adjourn.
Wow, that's a record.
Hey, no screwing around. We're going through this quick.
John, could you stay on for just a sec?
Sure.
Who seconded? Nobody seconded.
I second it.
Dave did. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thanks,
everybody.
Kathy. Yep.